Felix Felix is the hater of Small Business Saturdays.
Hello?
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 Oh, this has been what, a month and
Month and a
couple
week.
weeks.
Yeah.
It's been
But,
like 2 or 3 months for me. Do you guys even remember who I am? What's up, y'all?
I don't. He had to reintroduce himself.
Good
I
to
haven't
be
seen him
back.
in a while.
Well,
My name is Felix Sicard, and I am your new.
And
Wow.
he hates small business.
Yeah. Why does he hate small business?
Well, with that, we welcome you back to Late Arrivals. This is episode 52. Feels like Chris said, it feels like a year since we've recorded, but it's been like a month and a half, maybe.
Yeah. Do we have a famous 52?
I was thinking about that just now. I have no idea.
I don't think we have anyone that's born 52 and Ducks.
Quick, anybody in the chat listed Ducks play with 152.
I know Ryan Getzlaff was 51 his rookie year.
Yeah. It's probably some random like dude from 96. Played like 2 games.
All right, it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Ducks jersey history. Hot start to season 2 right here.
Insider J Money said 52.
What am I
could be
Googling?
Dixie D'Amelio.
Man, I already forgot what I was Googling.
Shout out Trevor Zegers. Let's see,
Weird.
52, 3 players. Oh, Matt Irwin, Ryan Carter. Ryan Carter wore 52 before he wore 20
Okay.
year in 2007. And then Peter, Felix, help me out with this one. Peter Leboutillier in
Wow.
97, 98.
It's the Peter Latibili episode.
Yeah,
Tiburon.
Ducks legend. If Jack's listening,
Jack probably knows.
we're not. Are we within 52 days, or is that passed already?
That's way past.
Oh, okay, never mind. Next year,
think.
Jack, use Peter.
I think we're in the 30s.
Yeah, we're in the 30s.
All right. Anyway,
Hot start as always, but it's good to be back.
Yeah.
Season's almost here. I mean, we were talking about football before we hopped on, but it's at that time where hockey is slowly making its way back into the limelight. All the
Mhm.
podcasts are coming back. Elliot Friedman has come out of hibernation and
Yeah.
dropping hot takes and rumors on NHL Network. But before we get into any of that, if you guys are new here and you haven't listened to us before, we do a weekly Ducks podcast here, of varying days and times, depending on schedule.
We like to keep it Tuesday, Wednesday if we can. One of those days.
But if you are returning, like we hope most of you are, it's good to be back and we're glad you stuck around with us. We had kind of a quiet month off, but we did do some fun things. We dropped some merch,
Mhm.
which
We did.
it's on its way to my house still. So I didn't get it in time for the episode, but hopefully before next episode.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it because I was
I
very
procrastinated.
nervous to very nervous to put it up just because I was like, shit, like Printful, just that whole experience of like trying to order stuff from them was terrible.
Yeah.
Like it looked so bad, and I'm happy to see that the shirts look as good as they do, just because I know the design's a little funky with some of the colors and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you have bought shirts and stuff already, it's appreciated. We thank you guys, but we're looking to hit year 2 here pretty hard. Another solid year. Obviously last year wasn't what we expected from the Ducks, so hopefully a better season to cover and
Yeah.
not just weeks of yay, we're 1 week closer to this being over.
Yeah.
let's not get too ahead of ourselves here.
I mean, on paper it should be better.
Have we learned? Have we learned nothing?
But we do have some plans. I teased on Twitter that when NHL 24 comes out, I do want to put an EASHL team together.
Yes.
So in the next couple weeks, I will be kind of refining that down. I want some opinions from you guys because NHL 24 is going to be cross-play, so we can have players from both PlayStation and Xbox. So if we want to maybe do half and half or an Xbox only or a PlayStation only team and, kind of coordinate that way. Like we just want to involve everybody a little bit more.
Mhm.
our big goal, I think, this season is to kind of get our Discord going a little bit again. But again, just we're looking towards the future, and hopefully another year of Ducks hockey that we can cover and bring you guys some news and some laughs every week. It's kind of the goal here.
Mhm.
Another season of tomfoolery, another season of debauchery. Let's get it going.
Yeah, because
Yep.
the Ducks, they are, California teams kind of lack a lot of coverage, and I feel like it's getting smaller and smaller by the year. So we try to bring a little different light to it. We're not, obviously, you all know us. We're not 100% professional, but we try to bring our own little flavor to it and at least talk about this sometimes very stupid team. But yeah, like Jake was saying, we got a lot of plans for year 2. I'm excited for the NHL 24 stuff. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, make sure you're following us here on Twitch. If you want to subscribe, go for it. I'm sure we'll post that stuff on YouTube, I'm guessing, just like we do with our episodes. So make sure you're subscribed to the LAP on YouTube and Inside the Rink over there. Follow us on all of our socials.
We're on
TikTok
YouTube now?
We have been on
been.
YouTube, my friend. We've been on YouTube for a bit.
No
But
shit.
yeah, go subscribe to Late Arrivals on YouTube, Inside the Rink. Go check out our TikTok and follow us. We've been gaining some more followers over there, and that's really nice. So, X. It's not Twitter anymore. It's X. Instagram. I'm trying to build up the Instagram base. Go follow us over there. Trying to
Do you
do
call it
different things.
X?
That's what it's called now. I don't know.
I refuse to call it X.
That's
Just
okay.
Still calling it by its government name. Just
Yep.
calling it Twitter.
Yeah.
X
I'm just gonna call it Twix.
Twix.
Well, the good
Wait.
thing is this first episode is going to be very Ducks heavy since we've been off for a whole month and a half.
Yeah.
Because a lot has happened, and we will save the lack thereof contracts with JB Drysdale and Trevor Zegras for the end of this, just so we can kind of brush through everything really fast.
Maybe they'll
Um,
sign by the time we get to
a-
the end of this.
We did get a little bit of sprinkling of news regarding that yesterday, though, but
Mhm.
and a little more today with
something to discuss.
Yeah.
But we had the 30th anniversary schedule announced. They're gonna be wearing the jersey 15 times, including opening
Jersey.
night, which is gonna be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Your
Are they
typical
wearing opening
nights.
night?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Opening night, yeah.
I didn't see that. Oh, cool. I kind of like that. All right. I'm still like
That's-
iffy on the jersey itself.
It looks good in
I gave
person.
it I think I gave it like a C plus, just the jersey itself. But I still need to see it in person. I need to see it with the full get up. So final ranking remains to be seen. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
I love the new center ice logo.
The
So
center ice
cool.
logo
It's
looks
so
so
good.
sick.
So sweet. It almost looked fake in the picture they posted. It looked like it was like
Yeah, it does, huh?
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
weird. I'm like, is that like real? I'm like, is that from a video game?
They need to keep, I think going forward, I know they won't, but they should keep the circle like filled in like they do with the anniversary center ice design. I like the circle, like the border. If you know.
Yeah,
what I mean.
I've always liked teams that do circular designs. It just looks
Yeah.
more.
It looks a
full.
lot better. circular.
Even
The Islanders just have their huge circular logo.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I always thought that looked really nice. It looked really full.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what kind
And
of
it
bothers
has
me.
Mighty Ducks and Anaheim Ducks on it.
Yeah, it's
and
cool.
Both logos.
I
Yeah.
wonder if it's gonna look weird, like when we're just wearing our normal home uniforms with the green on the center ice logo, and then we're skating by in black and orange. I wonder how that's going. But I mean, regardless, just on its own, it looks fantastic. So
Yeah. I mean, it'll be like the 25th anniversary jersey. So
Jersey.
all those colors on the ice.
Just a mishmash of just shit. It's
But yeah,
everywhere.
I like the border though. I kind of, even if because they're gonna go back to the Web D at center ice next season or whatever. I think they should still have like a border like that. I don't know. I like it. But yeah,
mean,
that kind
like-
of bothers me about the Sabres too, is that they have their logo is a circle, but it doesn't fill the center ice circle like the Islanders does. It like leaves a little bit of white around, and it kind of bugs me. I don't know. I'm weird.
I think some of that comes down to like the painting's probably hard because
Yeah.
they do hand paint all of that.
Mhm.
Like you have like inlays to do like the creases and stuff, but they
Yeah.
tend to paint like the logos on.
Mhm.
So I could definitely see Buffalo's being a little more intricate, a little harder to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, then you have like Vegas, who there's this coming season's going to be like
Jesus.
the Stanley Cup Bowl. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know,
You're gonna
I
lose
thought,
the
okay,
puck there.
I thought opinions on the Vegas Golden Knights aside, I thought that center ice design looked pretty badass.
What
Oh, it is
happened?
pretty
it does.
cool.
It looks really cool.
I thought it was really creative.
Did they release something? I missed it.
That was like a week ago.
Golden Knights center ice.
It's supposed to look like the Stanley Cup.
Like
the
you're
bowl.
looking down into the
bowl.
of the cup.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Well, while Lou's looking at that picture, you know, the promotional schedules, the theme nights and stuff tend to be your typical, you know, your law enforcement appreciations or pride nights, stuff like that. But they have 3 legacy nights, which is going to be pretty cool. It's kind of
Yep.
like a past, present, future thing. Not so much present, more so just kind of past and future, because it's Korea, Solani, and McTavish are the 3. Or was it? Is it Korea and Solani, or was it
Yeah.
Korea and Niedermeyer?
No, it's Solani.
It's Solani.
Yeah.
Again, it feels like months ago that this was announced, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that they're doing new things. They're not just trying to carbon copy like what they did with the 25th.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting though. You know, you have bobblehead nights for those. Fuck, I was gonna pull it up, but I mean, the more theme nights, the better. Because
Exactly.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Kinda neat.
I feel like we've had problems getting people in seats just because of how bad the team is, and you got to just get people in
Yeah.
regardless at this point.
Yeah.
Let's see
I
what
kind of
this-
need that Paul Korea bobblehead, man. That looks awesome.
you know, fan appreciation night. They're doing the scratchers again.
I like how the home opener against the Hurricanes, Sunday, October 15th, by the way. If you don't have tickets, go get tickets. 714 holla at your boy.
714?
LAP. Promo code LAP.
Wristband, t-shirt.
Yeah, they're giving
magnet.
away a lot. Like that's usually they give away
The
like one
magnet
thing.
schedule.
Yeah.
That looks like the 25th or the 30th anniversary sweater.
Yeah, you get a magnet schedule, a t-shirt, and a light up wristband. That's like
Sounds
usually
like
they only
they're planning something pretty extravagant for the
I think they're giving away like light wristbands
roster
that like
intros.
light up and shit.
and things like that. Sure, they'll have everybody turn them on and do all
Yeah.
that, you know.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ryan's
Ryan.
soldier
Ryan's
and
a
stuff.
season ticket holder now.
Oh yeah.
Ducks fan Ryan.
Oh yeah. I forgot the mouse has season tickets. It's fitting. It's
He
fitting.
loves his ducks.
Dixie D'Amelio meet and greet in there.
Yeah.
The
God,
TikTok recording
I know
booth.
too much about her that I wish I didn't know.
Just a
Man.
TikTok person. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all it is.
Go watch your show on Hulu.
That big of a deal.
No, I'd rather not. I just don't care who people date. I'm not interested in that, you know?
But Lou, how does this affect Trevor Zegras' legacy? We'll never know unless you pay attention to this stuff.
It gets more eyes
Yeah,
on Zegras.
boycott
That's for sure.
TikTok.
Gets more eyes on Zegras more than there already were in the hockey world. We need to get him in an LAP shirt so when he's hanging out with Dixie.
I don't even know what she looks like. That's the one thing I couldn't pick her out of a police lineup.
Well,
Anyway,
Well, we have had some signings and stuff as well. We'll start with the entry levels. We had one today. Tristan Leno signed his entry level contract.
Yeah.
But
Really
prior
good.
to that, we had Noah Warren and the Golden Boy Leo Carlson all sign. I did
Swedish
find
son.
it interesting that Leo Carlson is of the opinion of going back to Sweden to play at some point in the year. So I kind of hope they kind of do what they did with McTavish, where he plays his NHL games, plays a game or two in the AHL, and then goes back home,
yeah.
Yeah.
play
I
another
think-
developmental year.
Yeah, I think it's totally fine if Leo Carlson ends up going back to Sweden. I know I said it on Twitter a couple times. I know we've kind of talked about it amongst ourselves. We've talked about it over in the Crash the Pond Discord. But whatever the ultimate decision is for where Leo Carlson finishes the 2023-2024 campaign, whether he's in Anaheim the entire time, whether he starts in Anaheim and eventually gets sent back to Sweden, he is AHL eligible, whether he's in San Diego, whatever the decision is, that decision should be made solely with Leo Carlson's own development in mind. What I would not want to see happen, and I know we'll get into the Isaac Lundestrom injury here a little bit, or here in a little bit, but what I don't want to see happen is Leo Carlson kept in Anaheim if that's really not the best for him, solely for the reason that, oh, well, we're down a center until January, so we need somebody here. That's not, I would disagree with that completely if that is what the logic behind keeping Leo is. If he shows out in camp, shows out in preseason, and earns a spot on the opening night roster, fantastic. If he plays his 9 games and shows that he still belongs in the NHL, and we keep him here in Anaheim for the full season, fantastic. That's fine, but it should only happen if that is what's best for his development. We're not in this team is not good enough. This team is not in a place where we need to start plugging in rookies because we have holes, because we need, we need production in certain areas because we're trying to push for a playoff spot. We're not quite there yet. We can take a stride there this year, but that is not what should be happening with Leo Carlson. So yeah, it should be just whatever is best for his development, whether that's in Anaheim for a bit, back to Sweden, or immediately back to Sweden and we see him next year. Whatever. I'm cool with either. But the decision with Leo should not be made because, we have Isaac Lundestrom out until January, or because Sam Carrick might get hurt in camp, or, whatever may happen. We don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I agree.
The last thing you
Agreed.
need to do is do something like that and then look desperate just because there's a hole in the lineup, because there's easy
Yeah.
ways to fill it.
Yep. And I know we're all of the opinion, and a lot of the Ducks community is kind of the opinion that was kind of it was kind of a knock with what happened with Jamie Drysdale. I think we all agree that Jamie Drysdale, now granted it was COVID, the OHL wasn't playing, so he was kind of forced to, but I think in a perfect world, we all agree that Jamie Drysdale should have just gone back to the CHL in his draft +1 season, instead of having to do what he did and playing half in San Diego and then playing half of the season up in Anaheim after he got called up, and then now he's just been in the NHL forever. Well, not forever. I mean ever since, but and now that's potentially caused some harm to his development, and then he ended up getting hurt and missing 95% of last season. But I mean at the end of the day, we just said it, it's and especially with a player of Leo Carlson's caliber, you need to take his own development in mind. He is good enough where he's going to be, unless we do something crazy and we sign some elite freak superstar here in the next couple of years, but he's going to be the center point of this team. He's going to be the central focus of this offensive group for the next 10, 15 years. So you need to treat him carefully, and you can't use him as like a bottom 6 call-up guy to plug a roster.
Yeah.
To plug a roster spot. He's a rookie, very, 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 very good, very talented rookie, extremely high ceiling. But his own development needs to be taken into account first and foremost.
Yeah, 100%. And if he does end up back in Sweden at some point, I do hope it's easy to watch him. I want to be able to watch some games.
100%. I would love to get a Norbero jersey. I think
yeah, they have a nice look. They have a nice
the
look.
black and red, and I like their black jersey the best, I think.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for the black and red colors.
If I were to pull the trigger on one of these, maybe one night this year I get a couple beers in me and I get a little rattlesnakey. I'll pull the jersey. But
and the thing is, ESPN Plus said that they were going to carry SHL games like last year, and like they had a whole deal and everything, and I was like all excited.
Still on?
I don't know. Like I was not able to watch one SHL game last year. So I don't know what's going on.
Things to look up.
Why'd they lie to Chris?
We'll figure that out.
Yeah. Because if he goes there, I want to be able to watch him.
Yeah, I'd I'd tune in. I mean, he's gonna. I mean, if he goes back to Robert, he's gonna be the number one center there. He's gonna be the top player on that team and one of the best players in the SHL.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be fun to watch Leo no matter where he starts out and no matter where he ends up.
We'll just have to get in contact with somebody and like live stream their live stream.
Yeah. We found that guy in Latvia. We need to find a Swedish
Yeah,
lap guy.
we'll be violating all of Twitch's terms of service to bring you guys.
Lap loves Latvia.
Well, I guess since you mentioned it, we can just
Maybe.
talk about it and get it out of the way first. But Isaac Lundestrom tore his Achilles training overseas and will be out till January. So like Connor was saying, it does open up room kind of in that bottom six center role, which can be filled by, a number of guys. I mean, more likely, we'll probably see like a Strome or, I don't want to see him in the spot, but like a Sam Carrick, a guy like that, that's used to those bottom 6 minutes. It's going to be weird, for as much as we joked and we dogpiled Dallas Eakins of, he had his old reliable and Derek Grant, that's not going to be around this season. That ship has sailed. And it's going to be interesting just seeing where the minds are at with Cronin behind the bench. How, even if like McIlvaine thinks guys are ready to make the jump up, because, the big thing with the two of them was there's going to be a direct line of communication of, whatever happens in San Diego is going to be known in Anaheim and vice versa.
Mhm.
So, we could see someone young come up, maybe in Nathan Gaucher type,
Yeah.
But in the same vein, like you also want his development in mind as well. You don't want to just throw him in and say, hey, yeah, you're older than Leo. You're more suited for this because he hasn't had NHL experience. It is a road to tread lightly there.
Yeah.
But if the goal again is just to kind of stumble around a little bit this year, learn under a new coach, kind of get back on the right page, is the bottom six going to be too much of a concern to January? Probably not. They'll find a way to slot somebody in. They have to. It's not like you can just be like, no, we're gonna run 11-7 every night.
Oh God.
Right. Yeah. And like like Jake said, it's the Isaac Lundestrom injury. From what we understand, his timeline is as of now on September 5th is he's returning after Christmas. So probably sometime after January 1st is when we're going to see Lundestrom back on the ice. But it's interesting. So let's just say hypothetically that Leo Carlson is going back to Sweden in this situation, no matter what. So, obviously he's not going to be here playing center. Again, this is a hypothetical situation with Leo going back to Sweden, but the Lundestrom the Lundestrom injury creates an interesting hole. Jake brought up Nathan Gaucher. That's a guy that I'll be really watching in training camp and preseason. We've talked about why we like Nathan Gaucher a whole lot. He brings an element to the bottom six that I think a lot of the Ducks teams of the past couple of years have lacked. I think he's the kind of player you want in your bottom six when you're trying to compete. Also a guy like Bo Grew. I would think that if there is an open spot in that bottom six, especially down the middle, assuming they're not going to move any guys off the wing to center, let's just assume there's an open center spot right there at that 4C position. But, a guy like Bo Grew, I would think right now that's maybe his spot to lose. He's got a couple of NHL games. He was far and away the best forward on a really struggling San Diego team last year, but he was a lone bright spot in a pretty dismal team performance down south. But so guys like Grew, guys like Gaucher, this creates a spot for them, for them to really show out in camp and show out in preseason and show what they can do. And if either of them can earn a spot on the opening night roster, I think that's a great sign for both of them.
Yeah.
It also helps that Gru, like you said, has that experience and he's also under contract. So you would want to maximize like getting him some games instead of just like, hey, we signed you, but
Right,
sorry,
exactly.
you got to be a goal again this year.
Right. Yeah. Like if I had to predict if a guy were to come up, I would predict it's going to be Bo Gru. But again, I think if a guy like Nathan Gaucher shows that he belongs, he's physically mature already. He can handle it against men. We've seen it already.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting. So I'm gonna be watching that fourth line center spot really intently. Assuming there is an open hole there right now, but yeah, early things to watch in camp. I think amongst a plethora of other things to watch in camp, I think that's one that I'm really going to be keen on.
Yeah, Ducks preseason this year is going to be really interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's
a lot of
just
spots,
a lot of names and a few
names. A lot of names and almost
spots.
even more. A lot of names and almost even more unknown. We don't. Really know I think we can infer just because Verbeek's come out and said that he's still going to take his time with Olen Zellweger and Pavel Mintyukov. I think right now we can maybe assume we're not going to see a ton of them at the NHL level this year. But I mean, who knows? I think they're good enough players where if they just come out and absolutely destroy it in camp and destroy it in the preseason, I mean, they should be able to earn a spot if they've deserved it. So, but like we just said, there's just so much unknown going into this team, new coach, new system. A lot of the old kind of lingering faces, your Derek Grants of the world, your Kevin Shattenkirks, they're not here anymore. So it's going to be a very different roster structure that we're going to see. Of course, we're still going to have the Zegerses, the Cam Fowlers, the McTavishes, the Troy Terrys, obviously, but yeah, it's going to be fun to see, who can really step up and earn themselves a position. Because, right now, I mean, besides Leo Carlsson, right now, the Ducks forward pipeline is not the most stellar. So, I know we have a couple bright spots under Leo, guys like, Connor Vidson, guys, fun kind of project guys like Igor Sidorov, like Gaucher that we're excited for, that, we've talked oodles about, why we like him, but yeah, it's gonna be and then hey, even guys like Jacob Perreault and Tracy, who have just kind of been there, been stumbling and just kind of been there the past 2 years, and we haven't seen a lot out of them. I mean, they both each only have one NHL game under their belt, so will they take a step forward? Will they kind of have a new fire lit under them? So a lot of really a lot of different storylines to watch out in camp when it comes to the young forward groups. I mean, obviously Leo Carlsson is going to be the number one attraction, but the guys beneath him, I think there's a lot of different stories and a lot of different situations where a couple of those guys could step up and earn a roster spot.
Yeah. And like in the chat here, we were asked, can you talk about why Lundestrom has been given such an important role?
Is it Dallas Eakins?
Dallas Eakins, and I think it's just a miss on. Well, I don't know. I think it was more the fan bases, the general fan base's incorrect perception of him, and I think we can partially blame that on the broadcast because he's. Isaac Lundestrom has talked about, I mean, we've joked about it all the time. Jeff Merrick, for whatever reason, has literally called him like a mini Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah.
That's not his game at all. Like, he is not
at all
Bergeron. He's not Patrice Bergeron light. Like, no, that's not what he is at all. So it's this weird perception that the fan base has kind of had drilled into their heads, where like, oh, he's Sammy Paulson 2.0. Like, no, he's not.
Yeah. And then you had Dallas Eakins putting him all over the lineup.
Yeah, like he's on the second power play unit. Like he's just being misused. It's like I'm not trying to talk shit on Lundestrom. I'm not trying to say he's a bad player. I think he's being used in the wrong role. Now it's not like a Derek Grant where he's just bad, and he's and like him being in the lineup just kind of makes me upset no matter where he's being. It's the way he's being used, and he's being used in a way, way, way higher leverage role than I think he's suited for. So
and that was elevated.
And
with Eakins, and now we have a new coach, so we can't we'll see how it goes now. Of course, he's going to have a little bit of a setback with the new coach, not being able to get into
Yeah.
games that matter until the new year. But I mean, I don't think he's going to have that much of a role with the
Yeah,
new coach.
and the industry for Lundstrom specifically is difficult and tough because I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's an RFA next summer.
I can
So
check Cap
is
Friendly
it-
real
so
fast.
is this gonna, this could potentially really hurt, what he makes with his next contract if it's with the Ducks, if we decide to not give him a qualifying offer, so it sucks on his front because he's probably losing a little bit of money, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's also just going to be interesting with a new a brand new voice behind the bench this year. So when Lundstrom comes in after missing the entire first half of the year, how's he going to be utilized? Is he going to be able to get into the system? Whatever Greg Cronin's system is, we'll see here in a couple, in just a few short weeks. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of how Lundstrom is able to come in after the new year when he's healthy.
So yeah, he is an RFA next year. He's arbitration eligible, but I think the thing we also have to remember too is he's 23.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah,
he is still very young, but like you guys have touched on, like
he's just been misused.
It's a combination of misuse and not for a lack of, it's just because we don't have, like we were talking about earlier, it's not a matter of, we got to fill this spot. We have to fill this spot. It's just, they were just kind of throwing darts at the board for the longest time of like, okay, well, he's not doing terrible here. And, he had a great second half when he came back last season. But again, it's just like, in a lost season where we're actively rooting for them to lose every week.
Yeah.
It does get lost, at least in my eyes. Like, okay, yeah, it's nice to see him performing well, coming back from injury. But at the same time, like, am I going to sit back and just be like, oh, damn, like, yeah, we lost, but he really impressed me tonight. It's like, okay, whatever. Like, yeah, he looked good, happy he's back, but cool, whatever.
Right.
So I think a little bit of that changes with new systems, new coaches and all that, but I wouldn't write him off just yet. I mean, we see what happened with Comtois.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that we were all excited for. And
Jesus.
I mean, that's a whole different can of worms that we don't even have to get into.
Yeah.
But, to see that
it's definitely a bit of a different situation, but yeah, it's the same thing of where, the injury certainly isn't going to do him any favors, having to get into a new system and have his new head coach familiarize himself with Isaac. So, yeah.
Well, we do have other signings to talk about. We had, I wouldn't say some head scratchers, but we had some PTOs. Scott Harrington signs a PTO, which he's probably just
Whatever.
depth.
Whatever, it's a PTO.
You need bodies for training camp and you need bodies for preseason. So I mean, it's really not. I mean, same thing with Zach Cassian. I mean, really just it becomes a discussion if they're signed. I mean, I wouldn't bet on either of them signing, but if they do, I guess then it becomes a bigger conversation. But I mean, really nothing to really.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hand wring about. There's already some hand wringing going on with both of their PTOs, but it's fine. We're good.
Yeah.
Yep.
We also signed a veteran goalie, Alex Stalock, to a 1-year deal. That one got kind of people in a tizzy because, of course, the looming conversations of, well, is Gibson ever going to get traded?
Yeah.
Is Dostal ready to slot into the number one? Are they going to do 1A, 1B with the two of them? Honestly, I wouldn't look into it too much. Stalock.
Doesn't San Diego need goalies?
Yeah. But at the same time, like, Stalock played on a really bad Chicago team last year, and for his first season back after almost having to retire from complications of having COVID, he still put up some pretty good numbers. So I mean, I want to say 33 or 34, just a veteran guy to be there.
Yeah.
I
He's
wouldn't
still got
expect
some
too much of him.
Yeah. He's still got some game.
Yeah, I would still lean that Dostal has the edge. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we can assume that John Gibson is still going to be the opening night starting goaltender, but I would still think, I mean, I would still just assume Lucas Dostal has the edge in terms of being being
backup.
night backup. But I would maybe prepare yourself for Dostal to start in San Diego just in case. But I really don't know if this hampers anything in terms of Dostal's development if he does start the year in San Diego. I mean, we know goaltenders just take a lot of time. And Dostal, I think he's still 21, if not just turned 22. So goaltenders take a lot more time. It's okay to have them, marinate a lot. It's a way different position than a forward or a defenseman. A forward or a defenseman, obviously, the development path and the structure of the development is a lot different. So I don't think it's too cause for concern. I mean, I think you can make the argument that Dostal has played enough in the NHL and that he's shown that that he can handle it, and it's time for him to get some more games. But I think if they really just want him to kind of sit in San Diego and really just refine some things to start the year, and then maybe bring him up and switch him and Stalock in the middle of the year or whenever they decide. I think that's something that could happen too. But I would. Like I said, I would still bet on Dostal being the opening night backup and Stalock is in San Diego. But
I mean, if Dostal's in San Diego to start, it does spark some competition between him, Klang, and Gage Alexander down there.
Yeah, it makes San Diego a lot more fun too.
Force the kids
more fun than they're already. I mean, they're already going to be a really fun team this year with all those studs down there. But yeah, it'll be. That's another camp storyline to watch is what happens with Dostal and what happens with Stalock. Who's actually going to win out for that opening night backup position. But was Stalock just some AHL depth? Was he just some injury assurance? We'll find out here pretty shortly.
Yep. We did have a trade, kind of out of left field.
A trade to announce.
But we got Ilya Lyubushkin from the Buffalo Sabres, and we traded the 4th round pick that we got in the John Klingberg trade, the trade deadline. Probably just more depth again. They do feel, Zellweger or whomever from the young kids that can crack or do crack the opening night roster. It's insurance to fall back on. He's not very stellar, but he's a body. And
he might just be the third pairing defenseman.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of what I saw from the initial reaction of the Ducks community after the Lyubushkin trade went down was I think they were worried about the wrong players that Lyubushkin being on the NHL roster could impact. I mean, let's look at it for what it is. He's a right shot defenseman who's going to play on the right side. And people were saying that, oh my gosh, is this going to impact Olen Zellweger and Pavel Mintyukov? No, because they're left shot defensemen. They primarily play on the left side. I know Zellweger played on the right side a little bit for Team Canada, so maybe that's something he's able to do. But I don't think this really affects Mintyukov or Zellweger a whole lot, or even Jackson Lacombe. I don't really think that is going to impact him potentially getting a roster spot. And I know we referenced it a little bit earlier. We've heard Pat Verbeek say that he's still going to take his time with Zellweger and Mintyukov. So it shouldn't come as a shock that they are more than likely going to start the year in San Diego. So let's stop acting like that's still a surprise, because it's not, because we've literally been told that that's more than likely what's going to happen about 2 times now. So
yeah,
if anything, people were arguing for the wrong player. If anything, this maybe impacts Drew Hellison a little bit because he's playing on the right side. He's a right shot defenseman. So is he now going to have to beat out Ilya Lyubushkin? Is the plan to have Hellison as the second pair right shot D man and Lyubushkin playing the third pair? We don't know yet. And, we're just adding to the list of things to watch in camp. Is Hellison going to start the year back in San Diego too? I know he finished out last year with the Ducks, but it sounds like Pat Verbeek is really going to make the young kids work to earn their spot. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I think in an ideal world, I would have Olen Zellweger, Jackson Lacombe, and Drew Hellison all on the opening night roster. But
Yeah.
and I think that's what everybody would want to see, just for their own viewing pleasure. Like, we want to see these young kids that we've been hyping up on Twitter for the last 2 or 3 years actually play in the NHL and get some NHL games. So I get that, but I definitely get that because I want to see it too, for myself. But I don't think it's a bad thing saying, yeah, like, look, I know these players have a lot of hype coming with them, your Zellwegers, your Mintukovs, but you still need to earn your roster spot. And you still need to show that you belong. And I don't think that's a bad thing to go in when these guys have guys like Zellweger and Mintukov have no NHL games, and guys like Helleson and Lacombe have, less than 20 or 30, right?
Yeah.
But Jay Money brings up a great point. Injuries are going to happen, so there may be a situation where early on, a guy's out for a month or two. And so one of these dudes needs to get called up and they get an opportunity. So, it's not necessarily that if a Zellweger, Mintukov, Helleson start in San Diego, that they're not going to be up at any point this year. I think we'll see each of those 3 or 4 guys at some point, whether that's for a couple games, whether they're called up and they earn a spot out for the rest of the year. I don't know. We don't know that yet, but it's, I guess the summary of this is that it really shouldn't come to a shock that we're getting some more bodies that aren't young rookies. I think people that were assuming that, that the Ducks opening night defensive group was going to have Olin Zellweger, Pavel Mintukov, Drew Helleson, and Jackson Lacombe as 4 of the 2 was very wishful thinking. Like that, that wasn't realistic. Like let's be real with ourselves here. But it shouldn't come to a shock. I know Lyubushkin's numbers aren't great, but I mean, there isn't a lot that could get a lot worse than our defense group last year. And if you're playing sheltered third pairing minutes, I mean, it is what it is. If the guys down in San Diego are developing properly and killing it, I mean, fine. This is not another year where we're needing to push for a playoff spot. We of course want to see improvement and movement in the right direction in terms of structure, in terms of guys taking the proper development routes, and whether those guys are doing it in San Diego or doing it in Anaheim. I think all we can hope for at this point is that they're taking the right strides.
Yeah. And for all you number nerds out there, Lyubushkin will be wearing Trevor Zegras' rookie number of 46,
which means Nathan Gaucher is going to need a new rookie number.
Yes.
So that'll be interesting to see what number he gets. But
off topic, but you're saying defense can't get any worse than it was. The NHL posted the video of a highlight of Genny Malkin yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the game we played in Pittsburgh against the Penguins. And, part of me is like, why are they posting this video of all videos? Like, you could have posted the one in Anaheim where he had that really good game. Like, the goal they showed, I'm pretty sure, like, Fowler was laying at the front of the crease. Whoever the other defenseman was in the net. Gibson was on his stomach. The forwards were like nowhere to be found. It's like you picked like the worst possible goal to show, and it was like a goal that like hit 3 people and then went in the net.
Yeah.
Like, and the caption was just like, oh, Gino came back with a vengeance or whatever. And it's just like, it's like the worst fucking one to show.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there and I felt like, the fucking gif from Breaking Bad of Hank when he's having the heart attack. Like, I saw that. I'm like, oh God, why are you doing this to me? Why are you making me remember this?
Jesus.
But yeah, it definitely could be worse. We lived a whole season of that this year, so
Yes.
we know it can be worse. Well, we're getting into the end of the news here. Do you guys want to talk Zegras and Drysdale, or do you want to talk about Troy Terry's new contract?
Well,
you missed Terry just because that's happened, and
you missed a PTO, didn't you?
Did I?
We didn't talk Cassian.
Yeah,
Well,
we
I
did a
mean,
little bit.
Connor mentioned it.
There's
There's really
nothing
much to
say,
say.
really.
like it's a PTO.
Hey,
The
we-
PTO,
the Ducks are getting.
with all due respect, this
They're trying to
doesn't
get
need
much bigger.
more than 15 seconds.
We'll
Punchy
talk.
face.
We'll dive in depth if he's actually signed. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give that it's 15 minutes if it actually
Happens.
Warrants.
quote unquote earns it, but we'll see.
And join Gudis and Lyubushkin, where all they do is hit. Nothing else.
Hey, the other team can't score if you're putting them through the glass.
That's true. That's true.
The Ducks and Troy Terry avoided arbitration, and Troy
Went down to
Terry
the wire.
signs a $7 by $7 million contract extension. It was down to the wire, like Lou said. There was a lot of how did it get to this point? How how disrespectful? How could you not reward someone like Troy Terry and then 7 by 7? It's like, oh, okay,
Which
cool.
was ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. Duck's Twitter alerted me that we were about to be the first team to ever let a really good player go to arbitration. I didn't know that. I didn't know that that was the first time that was maybe ever going to happen. But no,
Yeah.
those things take time sometimes. Like it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Like, sometimes those situations do go to arbitration. Like Troy Terry didn't even go to arbitration, so there's nothing to really even gripe about anymore. But people, when that first Elliot Friedman tweet came out about where the two sides were on, Ducks were at about 4.5, I think, and Troy Terry wanted 8. There was a lot of, how could you lowball Terry and say he's only worth 4.5 million? Like, no, that is what arbitration is.
Yeah.
The player is always going to shoot for the absolute highest number, and the team is always going to shoot for the lowest number in hopes of arbitration meeting somewhere in the middle. Both sides know that. Troy Terry knows that the Ducks don't actually think he's worth 4.5 million. I mean, clearly, because we see the 7 by 7 contract in front of our faces right now.
Mhm.
But that was always stupid. I thought that was just dumb. But yeah, that stuff takes time. It's a contract negotiation. It's not like in NHL, in EA NHL when you're playing GM mode and you're just like spamming offers and then for 2 minutes and then he's finally like, oh, accept it. Like, it's not, no, these things take time. There's so many different variables in professional contracts that teams want to work out, different clauses, whatever it may be. But
Yeah, these are real people.
we got it done. And Troy Terry is a Duck for the next 7 years at 7 million. And I think everybody's pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
He gets to
Yeah,
swim
yeah.
with his son in a pool with Cam Fowler and
Yeah.
his kid. He's living life.
We've locked up one of our star forwards, and that's what we wanted at the end of the day, and it's for a really long time. I think it'll take him into his 33 or 33 age season, but
I think so. Yeah.
33,
Something
34,
like that.
something like that. And I think that's a good number for Troy Terry. He's going to be a huge key to he's going to be a huge part of this team for the next 5+ years. He's going to be a huge part of this team whenever it is that we start contending. So I'm all good. All good.
I was surprised he got 7 years. I don't know why.
I thought he was going to get 5 or 6. So I'm
I
not
thought 5. Yeah. I was honestly
surprised at
thinking
7.
Yeah.
Just because he's like 26, so I guess I wasn't sure if we were going to go above 5 or 6, but I mean, we went 1 year above. Troy Terry probably wanted that security. I'll never blame a player for wanting security.
Yep.
You got it. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
Well, like you said, they're like what Chris said. They're real people. They have lives, they have livelihoods, they have families. Yes, they get to play hockey for a living, and that is their livelihood. But I mean, you have to do what's right at the end of the day for your family.
Yep.
You're not gonna. I mean, for all the talk of guys take team friendly deals, like, yeah, that's true. Sometimes guys see, oh, hey, if I take a little less money so my teammate can sign next season or at the same time and we get a shot at the cup, like, yeah, I'll do that. But at the end of the day, like, there's a reason the arbitrations exist. There's a reason why contracts take as long as they do. Like, you have to do it right. Like, it isn't just, hey, sign this, we want you on our team. Like, there are legalities to it. There are things you have to be within the rules to do. There's reasons we don't get 13-year contracts and giant deals like that anymore.
Yeah.
We did that one time with Ilya Kovalchuk, but
Yeah. That one
broke
time.
all sorts of rules.
I just instantly think of Rick DiPietro.
Yeah.
That
Who's
one's nuts.
still getting paid for
Still getting
another
paid.
like
He
10
is,
years.
Yeah.
Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid.
Bobby Mania. Yeah.
But like, I think a lot of it too, like you're saying you were surprised, Chris. I think part of that also just came from all of just the chaos of that. Oh, they're lowballing him. They don't want him around. They're trying to get, down the road a little bit more. And I mean, I guess this can kind of transition into talking about Zegras and Drysdale, because it's kind of what Friedman has touched on in that situation. But like I've said it a few times, especially when we were getting to like the later episodes of the season. We're never gonna know what goes on in negotiations like that because that stuff never really becomes public unless it's a really ugly situation.
Yeah.
It's never to the fault of the player just because they're always going to ask for the most to maximize their time and effort. Because again, this is their livelihood. Like, did we expect 8 million for Troy Terry? No. Yeah, the 4 looks bad from our side, but again, you have to meet in the middle. That's kind of the point of the arbitration. But
Yeah.
I think part of it, not to sit back and be like, oh, you guys are just being dramatic. I think part of that just comes from the last couple of years have just been very rough, and everybody's kind of on edge of like the corner hasn't been turned just yet, and seeing guys like that you want as your keystones of the team, taking a little bit longer to sign or not signing right away, it does frustrate you, like the fact that Zegras and Drysdale are getting this close to camp and they're still not signed it sucks because
Yeah.
obviously you'd think like those guys would be priority, but at the same time, like they have this is McTavis's last year on his entry level.
Yeah.
So
Is it?
I
You
believe.
have, McTavish one more year on his entry
Actually, no,
level.
I think he might have one more after this. But I mean, regardless, it's 1 or 2 more years.
Yeah.
So you have younger guys coming up, and especially with the flurry of guys that signed their 3 years this offseason, you have some time down the road that's a real thing you have to worry about. You don't just live year to year in the NHL. Look at the Canucks. They're always the example of Jim Benning never was thinking ahead of just, oh hell yeah, let's throw 8 years at this guy or trade for this guy who has 5 or 6 years remaining. Like when you're flippantly just kind of doing shit like that, like you're setting yourself up for failure because you're always going to have to bring in young talent at some point. You're never going to have a team full of veterans, every year. It's just not realistic, and especially in today's sporting world and hockey specifically, like the fact that young talent does tend to overshadow some of those old guys. There's reasons why we see guys like still free agents right now. Like if I have Cap Friendly up, if you go to unrestricted, you have your top 10 are Patrick Kane. Taze is going to step away for a year. Josh Bailey, Tatar. They have Clefbaum and Gardner. I didn't know Clefbaum was going to try and play again. I thought Jake Gardner was done. You have Puljujarvi, Ducks legend John Moore, Richie, Ethan Bear, and you go down the list, and it's like all these older guys that it's just like they're being phased out. It happens every season. It happens, all the time. Like it's just a fact of life when it comes to sports like this. And I think a lot of that frustration this offseason has just been, well, come on, you gotta get the kids. You gotta get the kids. Like you gotta lock them up. And it's like the shit takes time. Just be patient.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and I would like to see speaking of UFAs, Phil Kessel.
He said he would break his Ironman streak to play for somebody.
Yeah. I wonder if he can quack. I wonder if he's a duck, like a beach guy, Imagine him in like a wetsuit.
He feels like a Florida man to me.
I will not be doing
Florida. I will not be doing that. Florida. Yeah, I guess I can see that. Florida man Phil. Yeah.
We'll go to Tampa Bay and score like 20 goals, making like 800K. Okay, let's finish this off. Ducks wise, talking about Zegras and Drysdale. So the word on the street, according to Elliot Friedman, is it sounds more like the Ducks and Trevor are leaning more towards a bridge deal or some sort of shorter term deal to get him to a bigger deal down the line, which I mean, the cap's going to go up. So get that
Yeah,
bag,
exactly.
King.
Like it
Right.
is it
Mhm.
ideal? Is it what we want to hear? No. Is it the end of the world? Does it mean Trevor Zegras is out of Anaheim and he's going to get traded? No.
No.
Like no. Odds are what is happening here is Trevor Zegras and his camp probably are wanting to, they're probably wanting to. Trevor Zegras probably wants to bet on himself. He probably knows the cap's going up, like Jake said, and he knows that if he takes a standard 7x4 or 8x1, whatever his deal would be, coming out of his RFA contract would he would eventually lose money in the end if he continues his progression and he shows that he's worth more than that. He is then essentially losing money that he could have gotten in the long run. So do we want Trevor Zegras locked up for 8 years? Of course we do. We all do. I think every Ducks fan wants that, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. If cap goes up 10 million, we may just be paying him a little bit more in 2 or 3 years when whatever contract he signs in a couple of weeks is up and we're doing this again. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. I don't think there's anything to be up in arms about or be totally worried about. I don't think that this is what is Pat Verbeek doing thing. I mean, Pat Verbeek could be the one that is pushing for a 7 or 8 year contract, and it could be Trevor Zegras and his camp that are like, well, we prefer a bridge deal because we know the cap's going up. Like
Yep.
Verbeek can't force him to do anything, so I don't think it's a what is Pat Verbeek doing type deal. But
Two sides have to agree.
right, yeah, and we don't believe what is going on in those negotiations. Of course, we're just kind of spitballing here and taking an educated guess. But I mean, he's going to get signed. I mean, it may take a little bit of training camp. It may take into a little bit of preseason. But I mean, hey, it's the Ducks aren't going to let Trevor Zegras go unsigned.
No,
Not gonna
and
happen.
No.
I think it'll be better a bridge deal now. I think it'd be better for both sides in the long run.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
It very well could be. It could, you get a happier Trevor Zegras. That's something that's positive. You don't want him, hoeing and humming about what he potentially could have gotten. So, it's fine. I mean, I feel like we maybe kind of knew in the back of our heads that this is always a possibility, but now it's just coming to the forefront. But
and it's weird because his contract, this whole situation, like I tweeted it out, it just reminds me so much of Austin Matthews.
Yeah, he did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not unheard of. This happens all the time. Same thing with the Troy Terry arbitration thing. Like, this happens all the time. Like, it's not the first time that a situation like this has occurred with a young star player. So nothing to worry about. No reason to be clenching fists or holding our breath here. But it'll get worked out. And
Anything between the two, I mean, maybe Jamie being unsigned is a little bit of a shocker, just because it's like
that was probably an easy one to do. We've kind of anticipated that Jamie is probably getting the bridge deal because he missed all of last year with an injury. But
yeah.
But so is life. The sun will rise tomorrow and everything will be okay.
It hasn't risen here all week, I'll tell you that.
I mean,
Been overcast.
It's good to see that Friedman's at least kind of getting little tidbits of information. I mean, granted, being everyone kind of taking a break in August kind of keeps everyone in the dark a little bit, but knowing that
everybody in limbo,
knowing that Friedman has a little insight on the situation kind of always puts me at ease, just because he's one of the voices I trust the most, just because he tends to have more concrete information. It's not just I heard through the security guard's walkie-talkie at the concert I was at that
he's one of the best for sure. He
and
hasn't given anyone
no insider or reporter is going to bat 1,000. It's foolish to think that and to expect that, but we can trust Friedman, and we at least know that there's some movement going on. I'd have a lot more pause if we had heard that talks had stalled, or if we would have heard that there's really nothing going on right now. But that's not what we're hearing. It's from what we can infer from Freeman, it sounds like we're working towards a bridge deal. But so hopefully that's figured out in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and we can get going with Trevor Zegras at camp on the first day. But it may take a little bit more time. So maybe prepare yourselves for that. But it'll be all right.
Yep.
And 2 really quick things before we move on. Ducks preseason starts September 24th against the Kings. Are you guys going to any preseason games?
I am on like a game time decision
Yeah.
for pretty much everything this year, just with everything going on in my life right now. But
I think I'm really going to push for the Sunday, October 1st game against the Coyotes. It's considered a Coyotes home game, but it's in Palm Springs.
okay, yeah, that'd be fun to go see.
So if you guys,
And it's like a halfway point for you. You don't have to drive all the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. Yeah,
It's not
very
bad.
nice.
I'm going to all of them besides that one and the one in San Diego.
San Diego, yeah, okay.
I don't
The
want to go
San
to San
Diego
Diego.
game would be fun to go see.
I'm not
Mhm.
going all the way to San Diego for that. I'll do it.
If I got a day off or a night off, I'll cruise up. But you know,
Not gonna lose sleep over not going to preseason.
Yeah,
as you always should.
and the last thing, plum versus eggplant.
It's eggplant.
That's eggplant.
I mean, they're playing into it. I get it.
Yeah,
they are.
they're playing into it now.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I don't give a shit. It's,
yeah,
No.
me neither.
it's the same color, so it's not like they
yeah.
changed the actual shade. But I mean,
it's just so
I don't
funny
care.
how
I
it
don't care.
bothers so many people. Like you just put one word in a sentence, like
don't.
plum, and people just explode.
I could give a rat's ass. I don't care.
This franchise is embarrassing. Why they're not saying eggplant? Oh Jesus!
You want to read our ads, Chris?
Take us home, crew.
Did you call me crit?
No, I paused because I said take us home.
Chris.
We're not done yet.
Oh,
That's not what I meant.
take us home, crit.
Take us into break. Commercial break.
All right. So you all know that with us here at the LAP and Inside the Rink, we have a nice little deal. Well, a nice little partnership with ESPN Plus. If you'd like to continue to support us here at the Late Arrivals podcast, our network Inside the Rink has an affiliate link for you to sign up for ESPN Plus. You have to visit insidetherink.com/ESPN. Sign up today. Signing up with this link not only helps us, but also our network. With hockey season just about here, it's time to get ESPN Plus if you don't have it yet. They got all of it. I'm hoping that they have the new women's league that's starting up. We'll talk about that briefly a little bit later. But I am hoping that they cover that. But ESPN Plus has been great. They have all the sports you can think of pretty much. But yeah, so go sign up. And our wonderful friends at 714 Tickets. We've been partnered with them for a while, and I don't see it ever stopping unless they want to, because we love them and we could shout them out all day. So
Ducks night at the Angels game Friday night.
next Friday, right?
This Friday, I'll be there.
Oh, this Friday. Yeah, I forgot what day it was.
I don't know how long I'll be staying because
I'm not
I really
entertaining anything Angels related.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how long I'm gonna be staying, but
Yeah, but
I'll be there for the Ducks players to throw out the first pitch and whatever they do.
yeah, whoever shows up, whatever Ducks players show up. But yeah, go to 714tickets.com. It literally does not matter where you live in the United States. You can get tickets just about anywhere to anything. Use our code at checkout LAP for 10% off your order.
That's lap.
That's LAP, LAP. 10% off your order, 5% towards future purchases. Like Lou said, Ducks night at the Angels game on Friday, you get a Mike Trout hockey jersey, by the way. But yeah, shout out
He
714.
will not be in the game, but
He will not
you
be
know.
playing, but you can wear his hockey jersey that he never wore.
Correct.
But yeah, I mean, it's, fun little things. Angels trying to, hopefully they have a little fun with it. I know their season's down in the gutter here, but
Stop
can you
talking
do?
about it, Chris.
I'm done. I'm done. 714 LAP at
Please,
checkout.
Joe Laga, buy the team.
Also, people just getting into hockey. Maybe your hockey season is starting up again. You got kids. If you got kids, go to shifthockey.com. Shift hockey sticks. Go get a stick. Get some new gloves. Maybe a helmet. Do they have helmets? Anyway, go to the
I don't
site,
know.
buy a bunch of stuff.
They might.
Use
Cool,
our
they have a cool cream colored beanie that I bought. It's just
oh
been,
you
which I
nice.
mean, it's just been too hot to wear it. I haven't worn
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But
that's cool. Yeah.
they have nice beanies. They have beautiful hoodies. Go get a new hockey stick, cheaper than most. Go check out their site. Just get lost in their site a little bit. It's very nice. Use code LAP10 for 10% off your order. Go give our boys over at Shift Hockey some love because they got some cool stuff.
Yeah, they got a bunch of cream stuff.
And we've been through this last couple episodes. It's been a while, but Lou loves cream.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
go buy some cream stuff.
Who doesn't
in
love
honor
cream?
of Lou? LAP10 at checkout.
Yeah. Lap 10.
Lap 10. Maybe if you get anything with our code, tag us on social media. If you get a cream colored, specifically tag Lou and show him your creamy drip.
Just tag
You
Lou
could-
and just
you
random
could-
stuff, honestly.
Don't
You-
ever
you-
say creamy drip again.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You're
you
gonna
could tag
summon-
you
you're
could
gonna
tag the pod
summon-
account.
You're
You
gonna
don't have to tag
summon-
me.
You're gonna summon Logan Paul's fiance.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
Let's transition to Eric Carlson here.
Oh, by the way,
Logan Paul's fiance. How about that Eric Carlson trade?
by the way, real quick, rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett.
Yep. R.I.P.
All right.
This episode will have a Jimmy Buffett inspired title. We have agreed.
I think
Yep.
it's gonna be it's lap o'clock somewhere, right?
Jesus.
Real quick, favorite Jimmy Buffett song.
Fins. Oh, fins or boat drinks.
Yeah, Boat Jig is a good song. Mine's probably the one Knee Deep with the Zach Brown band.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly can name one Jimmy Buffett song, and it's Margaritaville. So
I'm in the same boat on our way to Margaritaville, and I just can't get over the fact that we were talking about cream and then go right into someone passing away. But anyway,
Yeah, we did.
Eric
I did
Carlson.
time that oddly. My bad, Jimmy.
The cream Nina Agdal, Jimmy Buffett dying, Eric Carlson trade segue.
craziness.
Hey,
Eric
Well,
Carlson.
we haven't shied away from talking about death in very
Shout out to
probably
Queen.
disrespectful ways, but hey, it's
It's
the
too-
lap experience.
Pretty tame.
What can you do, really?
The impossible happened, but Eric Carlson is no longer a Shark. He's traded in a 3-team deal that, frankly, at this point, there are too many names on this cat-friendly.
Yeah.
It was a big one. That was a big one.
I mean, the big thing is the Mike Hoffman as a Shark meme is official, and those guys that had the banner when he got traded all the way back in 2018. Or
Something
no,
like
that was shit. Yeah, I think it was the 2018 trade. That has no, he was part of the Matt Duchene deal, not the original Carlson trade. But Mike Hoffman's actually a Shark now, so shout out the guys with the Mike Hoffman retirement banner.
Yeah.
But Dubas took a swing and got Carlson, which is pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
Penguins are going for it. Might as well with
Yeah.
the old
They're on
man
their
squad,
they're on their last little leg here. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't blame them, but they're kind of like the Bruins, where the future is not
Yeah.
very
Not
bright.
bright.
But I mean, I don't blame them. You can still make a little bit of a push. So I mean, your future's not bright. So go for it. I get it.
he had
And-
100 points this year. Like,
Yeah.
Maximize
Yeah.
what you have left with Sid and Gino.
I mean, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the Penguins have now recreated my entire NHL 14 hockey Ultimate Team roster.
I know, right?
Malkin and Carlson, but
Yeah. But yeah, I'm interested to see what Kyle Dubas does with Pittsburgh, just because, we heard all the rumblings that he couldn't get a lot done in Toronto because a lot of his stuff, Shanahan, they didn't see eye to eye. So be interesting to see what he can do with the Penguins, and maybe if things go south pretty quick, maybe he can start flipping some stuff and start, getting some picks to start building for the future, because
we'll get the yearly. We'll get the annual Ducks Penguins trade, whatever that's going to be. So.
yeah, we finally
Mike
get
Hoffman.
Crosby.
No, Mike Hoffman went to San Jose. Never mind.
We're finally gonna get Crosby.
We'll get
Yeah.
Jeff Carter in a cap dump for like a 6th round pick.
Well, I mean, Labushkin has one more year left. I mean, he could be the John Klingberg of last. I mean, I'm not saying he's John Klingberg, but I'm saying he's actually
He
flip
might
it.
get that return.
Yeah.
Those
If he
aren't
plays
big
okay.
skates to fill, Connor. I don't know if that was the analogy to go with. Klingberg actually has some. This may sound weird, but he has some small, like normal people feet for a tall guy. Someone
Looking at
bought
his feet.
his skates from the gear sale at the end of the year, and I sharpened them. And he
Oh,
wears
okay.
like a normal like size 9 skate, which
Oh.
like I wear a size 9. He's like a foot taller than me, so
What team did he sign with? I forget.
Toronto.
he's a Maple Leaf.
Oh,
Yeah, Toronto.
I didn't know we
The-
had. I didn't know we had. I must have missed John Klingberg's feet on the episode notes, but
Show feet.
And say the Leafs saw
that's for premium subscribers.
they saw Klingberg and Benoit together, and we're like, "Fuck yeah, we need that." But hey, their problem, not
Uh,
ours.
Oh man, I love watching the Leafs. As an outsider, it's like the best. It's the best. I love it.
Eh,
So great.
Well, the other there really wasn't much that we missed outside of your general PTOs and young kids signing with other teams. But just kind of out of nowhere, Austin Matthews teased his own contract extension, and then it was announced.
yeah, nobody picked up on
he
it.
broke his own contract.
Yeah.
And you
Which,
would
hey,
think
that's-
because he's in Toronto, like all the Toronto media would have picked up on it like right away.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, but he came out with the excited to be a Leaf, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
Like 15 minutes later. But
I know. I love that though. It's great.
But he
Yeah.
signs a 4-year, $13.25 million extension, which holy fucking money, Batman.
Yeah.
Just
Arizona boy
I
making a bag here.
don't blame him. He's what, like 25, 26 now, signs for 4 years. I mean, it'll take him into his age 29 or age 30 season. And, he has 4 more years to try to win a cup in Toronto. And I don't blame him one bit for wanting to give himself the option of when he hits 30. And we know he'll still be plenty good at 30. He'll still probably be potting fucking 50, 60 goals a year. And
And
hasn't
if
won a cup in
Arizona
Toronto
is
in
in
4 years.
Arizona.
he hasn't won a cup in Toronto in 4 years. He's getting himself the fuck out of there. So
Yeah.
Arizona
I
might be
like
good
what he
in
did.
4
I
years too.
I mean, I like that he's kind of indirectly showing the Maple Leafs, like, you guys have this amount of time to try to win with me or else I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Hopefully by then the Coyotes' new arena will be built and they can open it with Austin Matthews walking
They
in.
might be pretty good in 4 years.
Austin
might-
Matthews can cut the ribbon to the brand new arena.
be fun. That'd be fun.
that the video from PHNX was incredible.
Oh my God.
The guy
that was-
running around the
Petey?
dump with
Yeah.
that video was great.
Great. Yeah.
Feel
shout
bad
out
for
to-
the eye patch guy though.
just caught a stray.
By the way, the
Another
Calder
one.
race this
He
year is
needs
going to be
another eye
really good.
patch.
Man.
Sorry, Lou, what'd you say?
I said I think the Calder race this year is going to be pretty good.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's Connor Bedard's to lose, but Adam Fantilli,
Yeah.
Logan Cooley.
Yeah.
A lot of youngins.
But yeah, shout out to PHNX Coyotes. That was great. PD's really good with that stuff. If you don't watch any of their stuff or listen, go check them out. PD's got some good stuff. Especially one episode, he had a song. He played like guitar live and like a weird song. I don't know. They got some good content over there. They have some fun.
Well, we did have some retirements of note.
Yes.
Bergeron and Krejci being the two big ones in Boston, kind of leaving the Bruins a captainless, veteranless ship outside of Brad Marchand. Jonathan Bernier, Ducks legend. I like how our little slivers, I don't know if they did it on purpose, but like our slivers in his retirement picture were like a corner of his mask
Mhm.
and like a tiny bit of the jersey is like oh, maybe he wants to forget the time he was here too. I don't
Jesus,
blame
right?
him.
I don't think
Like,
I'll
we-
ever. I'm not gonna forgive that playoff performance from him. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we remember that, but he was actually a good backup with the Ducks.
He was decent.
Like that stretch run he had when Gibby was out, he
Mhm.
did pretty good.
That playoff series is hurt.
Jonas Donskoy also retired, unfortunately due to concussion issues,
Yeah.
which is always kind of
That
shitty to
sucks,
see.
man.
But it's nice that he's prioritizing his health and
Mhm.
kind of taking the steps to just not push it and
Yeah.
want to be there for his family and stuff and not have to live a life of shitty brain damage like that. And then Carl Hagelin also
Ducks
retired
legend.
because of his eye injury, which again, another kind of freak thing. But
Yeah,
Hey.
you hate to see that stuff. That's
That happened in practice, huh?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
but he finished I shouldn't say he finished a cup champion, but 2 cups isn't anything to
Pretty good.
Yeah.
to scoff at for a guy that was kind of a meme for just being fast for a lot of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, we mourn Ducks legend Carl Hagelin and Jonathan Bernier retiring.
Yeah. I hope they have a great retirement. It sucks that it had to end that way, but as long as they're healthy and they can enjoy their retirement with their family, that's all that really matters.
Yep.
Well, I will let you take the lead on this one, Chris, because you've been
Yeah.
itching to talk about this.
I'll
but,
try to go quick. I'll try to hit some of the main points here, but everyone knows by now that the PHF is dead. The PWHPA pretty much bought the PHF. It wasn't a merger, it was a straight buyout. All the PHF players' contracts were voided. All the teams were killed. But news has come out that the new league is going to be called the PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League. They're going to have 6 teams, and the 6 teams were announced. They're going to be in Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Minnesota, Boston, and New York. So that's pretty cool. I was a little upset that Buffalo was left out, but hopefully whenever they do their first round of expansion, Buffalo's top priority. I can see them in Pittsburgh for sure. But free agency started on September 1st. To the deadline to declare for their draft was the 3rd. Free agency, the initial free agency period ends on September 10th. Let's see. I
Where'd
know
Hillary Knight go?
I don't think she's official.
Boston.
Is that official?
I think I saw Puck Empire say she went to
Okay.
the Boston team.
Yeah, I know all 6 teams can sign up to 3 players before the draft, which is on the 18th of September, I believe. But it looks like there's going to be no PHF team names in this new league. So the Boston team will not be the Pride. The New York team won't be the Riveters or whatever.
Are they literally just like Ottawa and Boston and like?
For now, I think they're gonna announce team names at some point within the next few months, because this league is not going to start until January sometime.
Mhm.
So they got some time. But the NHL is going to have no involvement in the branding of the PWHL original 6 franchises. Their first season, like I said, is going to start in January some point. And they're going to have 24 games, but that's only for this season. Starting in season 2 and seasons beyond, they're going to have 32 games, and they're going to be starting in November. So that'll be nice to kind of start around the same time as, a month later than the NHL. But what I've seen is that Sarah Nurse, I see her name coming up to be one of the 3 signings for the Toronto team. But yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
that's pretty much it. That's
What?
pretty much the rundown. 6
This
teams.
is website.
But yeah, I had a few. I wanted to name some people to follow for this thing. If you are interested and you want to follow, go follow the PWHL.
What are the
official.
cities? Did you already say?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
I'll,
don't
I'll,
gotta
I'll
repeat
let you.
it.
I'll let you know really quick, really quick.
I'm sorry.
Boston, New York, Minnesota. I know the city. It's probably. I think it's St. Paul, Minnesota, and then Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal. But
Shout out
if,
Minnesota.
if you do really care about the league and stuff, go follow. They're on Instagram. They're on Twitter. They're on TikTok. Their at the PWHL official. If you want to follow some people in the game that talk about the league, go follow the Ice Garden on Twitter. They're a great follow. The Victory Press is a great one. Black Rosie Media is a great one. Mike Murphy is a great follow. I will also say the Hockey News. They also have the Hockey News Women that you can follow. Ann Tokarski is a great follow. Jeff Merrick has been all over this. Greg Wyshynski as well. I want to say, let's see. I feel so bad I'm blanking on this name. But yeah, go follow the Hockey News as well. Like I said, they've been covering it pretty well. Ian Kennedy, that's what I'm thinking. Ian Kennedy's been covering it a lot. But yeah, all great follows. There's plenty of outlets if you want to keep tabs on the league. And I want to pick a team, but I am waiting for the brands to come out, logos, names, all that stuff. But I'm kind of leaning towards, I see Kate in here saying Minnesota. I'm kind of leaning towards New York to start, but we'll see. We'll see what the teams look like and what kind of names we get.
I'm just picking the team closest to California.
Support your
Go
local.
Go Minnesota.
Support your local.
Support local.
Support local.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes. And like I said, we got a few months, probably a few weeks before a lot of stuff is released, like team names, logos. Head coaches will probably be named here soon. Like I said, the draft is September 18th. I'm not even sure. I haven't even seen if that's going to be streamed or televised. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. And then as we get closer to January, I'm hoping we hear something that the league is going to be picked up on like ESPN or something.
Let's hope that the NHL doesn't have some bullshit excuse to not support it either.
Yeah.
Because they tend to do that a lot, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to hold my breath because
Yeah, it's like we're going to support you, but at the same time, no. Like we're going to say that we're going to, like we're going to put in that very little effort to at least put your name in a sentence.
yeah.
But that's about it. But yeah, hopefully maybe ESPN will pick it up. Maybe they'll go like the women's soccer league here, the NWSL. I know they have a big thing with CBS and like Paramount Plus. That could be a way to go. But hopefully they at least, I mean, they have to. They're a brand new women's league. They took out the PHF that was already on ESPN. So if you want to move this league forward right out of the gate and grow women's hockey, you have to be on TV in some way. If they don't get anything done like that they're just taking steps back, in my opinion. But
yeah,
we'll see how it goes. I'm excited.
We can transition to the latter half of the episode here and get into some questions. I actually had a decent amount for first episode back. We are running a little long here. We kind of knew with being gone for a whole month and a half that this would most likely be the case, but we'll power through these as fast as possible. And our pal from Hockey 365 keeps it simple. What is your guys' favorite season and why?
Winter.
Yeah, winter.
Winter.
100%. Man, I love like
Winter or fall?
winter for sure. Just Arizona winters are awesome. They're beautiful. You don't have to worry about snow too much, at least in Phoenix. But I love that I'm not too far from Flagstaff, and I can just like
Flagstaff is cool.
Yeah, dude. Like just I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh man, I'm like a big snowboarder skier guy. I love that like culture. And I snowboarded before when I was younger and stuff, but nothing like crazy. But I just like being in that element. Like I love winter so much. Like just throwing on like a hoodie and just going up into the mountains and stuff, into the snow and hiking through all that stuff is just, it's beautiful. It's a lot better than sitting here sweating like I'm doing right
I'm
now.
over summer, dude. The other day was so swamp assy. It was horrible.
Yeah, I'm tired of being swampy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Drain the swamp.
winters around here. I'm excited for our first one, like by the beach and not
Yeah.
in the Inland Empire where it's still like 80 degrees even in January. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited for you to enjoy that. That should be really nice.
could only have one window open instead of like all 6 in my house. So our first question comes from Saeed, and he asks more of a comment and interested in thoughts. He goes, for some reason, I totally see the Ducks offer sheeting Elias Pettersson next year. Do you guys see it
Ooh.
happening?
Probably not.
No.
I don't see it happening, but I would love to see it happen.
I would love to see it happen, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to.
We
For
need more of
chaos
that.
reasons, it'd
Yeah.
be fun, but I wouldn't want to give up the
You got to give up a whole lot for that.
I wouldn't want to give up money that's going to go to the young kids down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be a little greedy with that cap space for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Spencer asks us, when will Lap enter the Crone Zone? He says, P.S. Ask Connor and
What does
Jack
that
if
even
Jack is
mean?
on about the wild hour-long fantasy football draft last night.
When will we enter the Crone Zone?
We've been part of it already.
October 15th.
The Crone Zone.
Fantasy draft last night. Yeah, it was fun. So we had, for those who don't know, we had a little Crash the Pond Discord community fantasy football league last night. I'm the commissioner, and we had our draft last night, and it was fun. I have the best team, of course, and none of you should be surprised.
Debatable.
But yeah, Lou drafted three.
I have the most balanced team.
Lou drafted 3 Chiefs, and so
I
yeah,
did.
things got interesting. But yeah, it was fun.
Own Tomahawk Chop supporter.
Oh.
Still don't know who the fuck
God.
Romeo Dukes is, but
That is us.
Damn.
I don't think he heard me. Or he's ignoring me.
what?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Said
Nothing.
known Tomahawk Chop enthusiast Lou.
Dude, that shit's so racist. I wish they'd get rid of that.
Maybe one day.
You know,
Them and the-
I really
Them and the
picked,
Braves.
I really picked that asshole because I'm trying to reverse jinx him.
Yeah, Lou,
It's really a win-win situation for me.
Okay.
You get points from
Either-
Mahomes
either
or
he's
he's
really
sucks
ass.
ass.
And the Chiefs suck, or he's really good and my team does well. So
Yeah.
I can't lose here.
there you go.
Our next one comes from Dalton. He asked, Troy Terry will be the blank best forward on the Ducks in 3 years from now.
Fourth,
Third,
third, or 3 or 4.
Leo Carlson will be 1 or 2.
If all goes well, I'm hoping he's 3rd or 4th.
I say top 3.
I'm holding out hope. Maybe we get lucky and we sign like a top free agent. So I'll give him
Yeah.
3rd. Leo will be one of the other 2, and then we'll.
Because I mean, I'd kind of hope that Carlson, McTavish, and Zegras are ahead of him at some point, but
We'll see. We'll
we
see.
shall see.
This one's more towards you guys. I'm guessing this is Premier League. But Kate
Oh.
asked, who's winning the EPL title?
This one's for my boy Garrett, Newcastle.
That would be cool. I wouldn't hate seeing Newcastle win.
Shout out the Garrative.
Shout out Gary.
I like Newcastle. I was watching their game this past weekend. They got some their green kits are actually really nice. But I don't want to say Man City. I'd love it, but I don't see them
cheats.
winning. I don't see them winning a 4th straight Premier
Tax
League title.
cheats.
I just don't see it. And I definitely don't see Man United, thank God. Maybe they'll get relegated. I don't know. They're looking pretty bad.
Build a
Their
real-
game.
Build his team without cheating challenge.
But yeah, Newcastle will be cool. But if I'm being honest, I'm gonna say Tottenham. I'll go Tottenham.
Yeah, I'm kind of soured on United lately. I don't like that they brought back Mason Greenwood very much. And that loss on Saturday was bad. So I'll go Tottenham too, I guess.
Yeah, Tottenham. I think they're
I'll throw a vote in there for Tottenham just because Tottenham was my dad's favorite team. So I'll
okay.
Coy's
Nice. Coys, yeah. They
I'm just gonna say yes because I don't know any of these. teams.
Tottenham reminds me a lot of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I enjoy watching them and being an
And our
outsider.
pal Jake Rudolph is a Coys fan.
And so is Kate that asked the question.
They're the
Oh,
team
yeah,
with-
okay.
Newcastle or Tottenham. I'd like to see either of those two win.
Tottenham's the team with the rooster on the ball, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
because I
Yeah.
know
Is it a rooster?
I've seen
Yeah.
them referred to as the Cox before. So
Yes.
Yep. It's a
of
rooster.
course, that's what sticks in my mind. You know,
But they're playing so much. They're so much better without Harry Kane. So
Ange ball, baby.
they're feeling it. They're feeling it.
Is it Angie or Ange?
I think it's Ange. I don't know.
I don't know.
yes.
Anyways,
Next one comes from Patrick. He asks, Paul Correa was ahead of his time with his dedication to his craft and his body. If he was born in 1999 instead of 1974, and with modern rules, technology, equipment, etc., how good would he be in today's NHL?
Ooh.
I think he'd be the same, if not better. I mean, Patrick touched on it. I mean, he was ahead of it. He was ahead of his time in terms of, taking care of his body, proper nutrition, proper training, proper stuff like that, kept himself really healthy where, in the time he broke into the league, guys were still, for all we know, still gassing beers in the locker room during intermission. He still had some of those dudes that were in, that were in the league. Whereas now, in all sports, not just in hockey nowadays, guys are just absolutely freak of nature athletes and just in some of the most insane shape you could ever imagine. So I think he'd be the same, if not maybe even a little bit better. The game is a little bit less physical now than it was in the 90s. Caters a lot more to skill. Those guys are able to shine a lot more. And Paul Correa had plenty of skill. So I think he'd fit well. I would put him on the Ducks top line.
For sure. Yeah, I honestly think he'd be better. I really think he would.
Especially with the advances in protective
just so intelligent.
equipment and everything is meant to be responsive to your body now. And I think he'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
Using a wood stick and a nacho helmet for
Something that actually has padding in it.
Yeah.
It's meant to prevent concussive brain damage.
But nope, now he's just surfing.
But hey, what a life,
Yeah. He seems so like I just feel like he's so zen. He seems like he's in a good spot, and I like that. Hopefully I'm right, and and he actually is, because he really seems happy, and I love it.
And he's a lot more involved with the Ducks now after intentionally separating himself from the game for over a decade. So that's good to see as well.
Yeah.
More involved with the team.
So we couldn't come back without a squeak of the week from Ryan.
The first one of the new season. Wow.
And this one's actually a pretty good one.
It is a good one. And I couldn't
read this one. So this will be I'm hearing this one for the first time with all you guys.
Okay.
So the lead up's one of Ryan's better ones. I'll give him that right off the bat. But it is pause, play, rewind the tape, play it again, pop in that old Ducks VCR and celebrate a 30th with a glizzy. No onion on it, damn it. And that's in parentheses, mind you. It says, but you must let us know what is your favorite random ass moment in Ducks history? He says, golf glizzy with mustard. I'll be right back. Hashtag squeak of the week.
This was the 2014-2015 year when Brizgalov was just like randomly back with the Ducks for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Me and a couple friends, we waited outside Honda Center one day. We had like a day off school or something. So like we went outside a Honda Center to try to get some autographs and some pictures with the guys after practice, because we were practicing at Honda Center that day. And I got a picture with Cam Fowler, I met like Rene Bork, got a picture with Sylph and Hampus and Ricard and all those dudes. But Briz came out at one point, and there was this group of older ladies that were there, and like you could tell that they were they were the kind of ladies that are, they're probably at like every practice trying to get autographs. Like Briz had looked like he was familiar with them and he had recognized them, but
Yeah.
he was signing like some cards for them or whatever. And we're standing maybe like 10, 15 feet away, but we can hear everything he's saying. And I don't know how it got to this, but all of a sudden he just started talking about Russian politics to them. And he was just like, no. Like, and he's being very sweet about it. But he's like, no. He's like, respectfully, I don't think a lot of Americans understand. He's like, they don't care about us. And like, it was just funny. And then like after ranting, he goes, but it was so nice to see all of you. It was funny. It was like
What the hell?
it was a good 60 seconds of him just like very carefully explaining
Yeah.
Russian politics.
It was
He's
hilarious.
such an interesting dude.
So that was just a random Ducks funny. That's a little bit more of a personal moment, not like a highlight, but
Yeah. I remember
that was just always hilarious.
I remember going to the Cup anniversary game, and they were doing all those signings outside Honda Center, and we met Briz, and I was trying to get a signature from Solani. So Jenny went and waited in line for Briz, and the whole time Briz was just asking everyone to go follow his cat on Instagram.
He was asking that because I was gonna say mine was he was walking around the pen singing My Humps. And I remember when they had him in Nashville for the 2017 playoffs. I've talked about it on the podcast before, but they had like a thing with the Sporting Tribune where
Yeah.
they had him on their Twitter account, and it was like, oh, ask Briz a question. And so I sent that. I was like, Briz, why were you singing My Humps at the Cup celebration? And there is a video. I'll find it tonight and we can link it tomorrow with the tweet of him answering the question on video. And he
Nice.
just was saying he liked Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell's funny and he likes Blades of Glory, and that's why he was singing it. And I was just like, you know what? Yeah, cool, Briz.
Nice.
I mean, if I had to pick like one at a game, I wouldn't say it's a crazy moment, but Ryan will remember this. This was the infamous man ass game that
There
we
you
went
go.
to where
There
Terry
you
had
go.
the hat trick against the Flyers. And our excitement of everyone jumping up, celebrating the hat trick. I saw a man's full bare ass because his pants had kind of fallen down a little bit. So, I don't know if it's just that stuck with me because the moon was out inside the Honda Center or what, but
That's
if we're talking literal crazy ass moments, then
Yeah.
hey, there we go.
That's crazy because this random stranger that doesn't even know, like, you have his ass ingrained in your brain.
Yeah,
He doesn't even know. You're walking around with images of his ass, and he doesn't even know. That's crazy.
It's terrible.
That was fun. I was just getting over COVID too. That was a fun day.
I saw this squeak of the week earlier, and I kept thinking, I'm like, I can't think of anything for some reason. But I guess I would say like the most random thing was the Ducks, for me at least, signing Danny Heatley. That still doesn't feel like it was real.
Oh, I
Yeah.
have Danny Heatley Ducks practice jersey somewhere like in storage.
Really?
My uncle got it for me like the next year. Like how like the next season they'll still have like random practice jerseys from the season before of like just
Yeah.
there were like a couple Danny Heatley ones, and he bought me one. It was the only one left. It was like it would cost him like $80, and it's like
Yeah.
3 sizes too big. But he's like, I just thought it was too funny.
Well, it's like
Like,
up until
I'll have to pull it out and wear it on the pod sometime this year.
Yeah.
up until the COVID season, they still had Marcus Pedersen like practice jerseys from the 25th season. So there's
Really?
there was like a script jersey with his name on it. There was a script Montour. They're like the ones they'd sign, like autographed to go on auction and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like 2 years after he got traded, and they were still just chilling in the shop at Honda Center. It was just kind of like, I remember asking the guys, like, are the ones for the traded players discounted? He's like, no, they're still 300. I'm like, yeah, okay,
Jesus.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
That's not worth it.
But yeah, Danny Heatley for me, that still feels like a fever dream.
What about you, Lou? We've been hogging the spotlight here.
I can't think of a actual like happened during a game, But Hillary Knight gave me her beer like one time.
Oh yeah,
That was so
that
fucking random,
was.
dude. Like
I
I
still
think I was
remember
with
you like.
Jake Rudolph and T Hole. I don't know if you know who that is. Tyler, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ultimate
Um,
fan or whatever the fuck is.
yeah, and she just came up to me and like, "Do you want this?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, thank you." So
Nice.
yeah,
Got a
that
beer
was
from Hillary.
mommy, huh? But yeah,
Hey, he said it,
Oh,
not
Jesus.
us.
Yeah, I didn't say it.
I
Didn't
didn't
come
say
out of
nothing.
didn't come out of his mouth.
I didn't say nothing.
Okay,
That
Lou,
is pretty cool though.
I know you said you had some takes to fire us off, so take us out, bud.
Yeah.
Oh God.
As a society, can we please stop celebrating holidays a month before they happen? Like September 1st, we should not be seeing Halloween stuff at like stores and stuff. It's not even fall yet. It's still summer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It
but
is summer.
I'm cool with bringing in fall vibes because like I enjoy the heat for a little bit, but I'm at the point of the summer where I'm just tired of it.
I
Yeah.
mean, yes, but
Like I'm cool with bringing in the fall mentality.
September is still technically summer.
It kind of wires me to not think about the heat. So I'm fine. Like I'm cool with like I think Christmas is the only holiday where like I mean just because that's like an entire season. Like so I'm cool with like I've never had a problem with people like doing the whole you know if they want to start decorating the week after Thanksgiving like that's fine. That's never bothered me. You know it's just because Christmas is like an
Yeah, after Thanksgiving
Christmas
is
is an
appropriate
event.
time to
It's
do
not
it.
just like a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
If
I've
you
always,
start decorating your house in like November 1st, you have issues. And I don't want to associate with you.
wait
Wait
until
at least till Thanksgiving.
yeah. I think
Or the week of
Friday.
Thanksgiving.
If you want to do it on Black Friday, I think that's fair game. But
Yeah, that's
Okay.
perfectly fine.
that's completely fair game.
Yeah, Black Friday is good.
That was
No, I love
tame.
Christmas, and Christmas is my favorite holiday. But
Same.
That
And
was
by
tame.
the way,
That was tame
how
for a
long is
Lou
this
take.
Taylor Swift tour?
That was tame for Lou.
It's,
Taylor Swift tour, I couldn't tell you.
How long
What
is
was
this
your
going
question?
on for?
it's back. It's back in like 2 months, and then probably goes on for another like 6 or 7 after that. My good sir.
I try to mute
That's
every
my only
account.
comment. Sorry.
I try to mute every account talking about Taylor Swift, but they just keep popping up. Kind of over that. Shout out Metallica though.
Yeah, can we talk about the M72 tour like we do about Taylor Swift? That'd be a lot more cool for my timeline, in my opinion. But no, I'm not trying to. Nobody get mad at me. I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just
Fast forward if you don't want to hear this.
playing around. I'm playing around.
I did have a little FOMO.
You're all okay. I promise. Everybody.
Seeing
Alice
the
in
set
Chains is
and some of
in
those
Anaheim,
videos,
October
I
3rd.
had some big FOMO from that show, but I wasn't about to pay like $400 to go see Metallica.
Was that all, Lou? Just the holiday thing and
Yeah.
T-Swizzle?
Alice in Chains is in Anaheim October 3rd at the House of Blues.
Really trying to go to that show if I can.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
Never been to that House of Blues.
this is definitely a good place to end because we're pushing 2 hours here. But again, expected for
There's
a
lots to talk about. We missed.
but you know, it's good to be back. I was fiending to record. There were some
Yeah.
days there where I was just like, come on, we can talk about something. But
It's
I
good.
understand it. It's
Yeah.
good to refresh and come back. You know,
It's healthy. It's healthy to take some time off. Enjoy the summer. You know.
Yeah. Been enjoying playing.
August is the
Xbox
shittiest
again.
month.
Yeah, August
than-
always feels like it just drags on forever. But
Yeah.
thankfully, I went to Mammoth for like a week, so that kind of helped cut it out. But hope you boys had a good summer. Hope everybody listening had a good summer. And yeah, we're excited for season 2.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Take us home.
As always, follow us everywhere. At Late Arrivals Pod on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok,
YouTube.
YouTube, YouTube, make sure you're subscribed to the Inside the Rink YouTube channel and the Late Arrivals podcast YouTube channel. If you're not following us on Twitch, do that. If you're
Are we
feeling
live on YouTube right now, or just on here?
No, we're
I
not.
never figured
Um,
that out, but I will
um,
look into that.
If you're
Okay.
following us on Twitch already, thank you. If you want to subscribe, you're feeling a little.
Did we get any subscriptions tonight?
Sean re-upped, and then we also had a
Yeah, I
new
re-upped
follow
too.
from Last One Left. So thank you, Last One
Nice.
Left, for hopping in. I also saw some new faces in the chat. So
Yeah.
Nice.
we do this every week, 8 o'clock. Next week's date might change if we are recording next week. I'm seeing Ghost on Tuesday, so up in the air. Maybe probably a Wednesday recording. You think?
Yeah,
Wednesday,
that sounds good.
Thursday, maybe. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good with me.
I have
All
my
right.
I have my night class on Wednesday, but maybe if we could maybe swing Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
no rush really.
Um,
that-
I'll
up
double
until-
check, but you
Yeah.
you all don't need to hear us try to figure out our schedule.
Yeah. Right. All
Take that
right.
on there.
Follow us everywhere on socials. Late Arrivals Pod. See you next week.
Drake May is a Ram. Bye.
Raider. I mean, Caleb Williams or the Raider.